Happy Sunday. Thank you for joining me for the last time with the Father for 2024. I don't know about you, but this year has flown by. But I believe that I have a succinct word for the end of the year that I believe by the time I'm finished, you're going to like. But before I get started, again, I want to say hello. I'm Dr. Michelle Morgan, and thank you for being a part of my YouTube and podcast video series called Time with the Father. I'm so thankful for all of you and your comments, your support. I've been able, with some of you that have supported me, to purchase some new equipment, and I'm looking forward to some new things that we're going to launch in 2025. Starting January 1st, we're going to have what we're going to call 3 minutes in the Word. And we're going to be doing devotionals, little 3 minute devotionals that you can follow every day. That'll be on the podcast. You can find that on the platform Podbean, Time with the Father, Michelle Morgan. And then also once a month, we're going to be interviewing some special people that I know that have been a part of my life, some for a long time, some for not very long. We'll be releasing those videos and podcast once a month, and I'll let you know those are up and coming. We have one that we're going to be doing this next week for the month of January. I'm so excited to introduce you to my new friend Stephanie, but more about that later as we enter into next year. So let's just jump right into our topic. I was thinking about this, been thinking about this all week. I love to reflect at the end of the year. And this is what the Lord has said to me. It's the same word, but he said it 3 times. He said, wait, wait, and wait some more. Right? We don't like that word, but listen, I think you will by the time I finish sharing some things with you about that word. So when you think about the word wait, what do you think? Right? W-A-I-T. So in most cultures, the word wait, when it's used towards us, we think stop. Someone's telling us to stop. And often when we're saying it towards someone else, we're saying to them, wait, which often can mean stop. But what if when we thought about stopped, instead of that word, we thought about pause, right? To wait may mean to pause, which would indicate that soon we can begin on our journey again. I know I've said this, 2024 is coming to an end, and we don't have to wait long for 2025 to begin, but maybe, just maybe, your to-do list didn't get finished for 2024. Maybe some of your goals you didn't accomplish this year, or maybe some of your prayers that you prayed haven't been answered. I could say yes to all of those. Well, what do we do if that's the case? I think we kick it into next year and we wait. We wait because God, listen, here's an acronym. God will answer in time. God will answer in time. I want to give you 3 words out of the Hebrew, out of the Bible, that talk about the word wait. Sometimes the epistemology, the word definition, helps us understand, gives us more clarity about what the word really means. And in the Hebrew and Greek, we're going to look at Hebrew. Sometimes it really does help us expand the meaning of the word. We might think like waiting for a bus to arrive, right? But it means more than that. Some synonyms I think we attribute to the word wait or delay. We don't like that, do we? Abide, we talked about that last Sunday. Linger, kind of wait around or wait. Well, I want to tell you about these 3 Hebrew words. The first Hebrew word for wait is yachal. It's spelled Y-A-C-H-A-L, pronounced yachal. It's used 41 times in the Old Testament, and the implication is to be patient, which most of us don't like. To hope, and to have hope. To tarry, trust while we wait. The second Hebrew word I want to share with you today is kavah. It's Q-A-V-A-H, pronounced kavah. Its meaning means to bind together, kind of like a rope, like you're twisting a rope, to collect, to expect while we're waiting, to expect, to gather together, to look, to tarry, to wait on. It occurs 49 times. One more word out of the Hebrew Old Testament that means wait is shamar, spelled S-H-A-M-A-R. and it means to properly hedge about. Think about this while you're waiting for things at the end of this year to guard, to gently protect, right? To be aware of, especially to be aware of what's going on within ourselves, be circumspect. Kind of like to take notes, think back, reflect, to take heed, to keep ourselves, to look, to observe, to lay wait like a watchman, to wait for what's to come. Shamar, that word occurs 468 times in the Old Testament. So have you been waiting on God maybe to tell you to move on a certain project, maybe even to move to a certain location or to take a different job? Well, historically and biblically, many people have been waiting to do some of those same issues, waiting on God to say, go. I want to give you an analogy, maybe two. It's similar to when you're driving down the highway coming up to a light. Well, what does a yellow light mean? Right? It means to slow down. But maybe in that slowdown, when that light turns yellow, it's a time to pause, a time to reflect and get direction. And then, of course, what's the light color for stop? Well, it's a red light, isn't it? And then what's the green light for? It's time to go. Well, let's look at one other analogy. Have you ever flown like on an airplane? So if so, you know the preparation that goes in getting ready to fly is a lot. And you get to the airport like an hour or 2 hours ahead of time to do what? To just wait. And while you're sitting at your gate and you're waiting, you're listening. And then when that announcer comes on that intercom and says, flight so and so, it's time to board, then it's time for you to get up and go. So I think these two analogies, one is like to watch what God is doing. The other is like to listen to what God is saying, because he's always moving and he's always speaking. There are also many New Testament scriptures that talk about waiting. I want to give you one for today. It's found in Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. Let us not grow weary in well doing. Do you know this scripture? Let us not grow weary in well doing while you wait. For in due season you shall reap if you faint not, or if you don't lose heart. We can't lose heart. God is on the move. Well, my encouraging word for you today, as we close one year to enter the other year, this next one coming up, is a word found in Hebrews chapter 13, verse 8. And it says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. That means that Jesus was with you in your past, no matter what that looked like, and that he's with you right now in your present moment, and he's already in your future waiting on you to get there. So we don't have to worry about what to do while we wait, because God is waiting on us. And as he gives us that green light or that boarding call, he is there to meet us, to take us into what is next. Well, I want to say Happy New Year. I will see you next Sunday. Don't forget, I will have a link shortly, send it out to you where you can find us 3 Minutes in the Word, and then our new up and coming monthly interviews that we'll be doing with people that are most interesting, that you can learn so much from. You don't want to miss those interviews. And again, I just say thank you. And until next time, remember, I always like to say, the heart of the matter is the matter of the heart. And take some time this week to spend time with the Father, as he is desperately wanting to spend time with you.